I could say anti-Semitic things and Adidas can't drop me. Now what?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at powerful leaders, influential innovators, celebrated executives, and cultural icons who reach the heights of professional success, only to see their reputations decline steeply due to decisions, scandals, or revelations.
Mr. Cosby, how does it feel to be home?
Cosby did not say a word.
We have chosen these entries by their level of prior success, the severity of their failure, and the extent of the shift in public perception. Jim Bakker.
Well, we want to thank all of you that have made that phone call to become a faith partner with PTL, and I say thank you.
He was once one of America's most recognizable televangelists, and with that position, Jim Bakker built a broadcast empire. Drawing millions of viewers and generating enormous revenue through donations, Bakker's PTL Club ministry was a rising influence within the American diaspora. At the peak of his career, Bakker oversaw a Christian theme park, media centers, and luxury facilities funded through his organization. However, that peak collapsed when investigations revealed financial misconduct.
In 1978, the Charlotte Observer started publishing articles about the misuse of PTL funds. It sparked a 5-year-long FCC investigation.
From reportedly misusing ministry funds to overselling lifetime vacation memberships, Bakker's questionable accounting practices shook public trust. The final nail in the coffin was a highly publicized sexual misconduct scandal that also led to criminal charges for fraud and conspiracy. Bakker eventually returned to broadcasting, but many feel his reputation never recovered.
It's one of those things you kind of say, well, God, is this a joke? Or...
J.K. Rowling.
How does it feel to have really motivated an entire generation to read?
Nothing better. Nothing better.
A universally admired and beloved creator of the wizarding universe that took the world by storm, J.K. Rowling is the author of the most successful literary franchises in modern history. Her books inspired millions, reshaped children's publishing, and generated blockbuster films, theme parks, and global fandoms.
She's now written an essay on her blog addressing the accusations and saying her opinions stem from her own experience with domestic violence. That's why she's been pushed to advocate for women's rights, she says.
However, in recent years, Rowling's public image has shifted dramatically, thanks to her controversial comments regarding gender-related issues. The backlash from fans, advocacy groups, and even cast members from the film franchise was so intense. While Rowling still garners influence and continues writing, the public debate surrounding her views has significantly affected her reputation. For former Rowling stans, her earlier legacy now sits in stark contrast with the divisive discourse she has generated.
I'm sure there used to be a word for those people. Someone help me out. Wumbin, Wimpund, Woomud, she wrote.
Elon Musk. Who could have thought that the visionary entrepreneur behind Tesla, SpaceX, and technological innovation would become such a polarizing public figure? Over the years, Elon Musk's public reputation has shifted as a result of increasingly divisive statements, abrupt leadership decisions, and unpredictable online behavior. Musk's acquisition and restructuring of major platforms such as Twitter, along with disputes involving employees, regulators, and investors, have fueled growing criticism. His role and association with President Donald Trump's government have seen supporters shift their views of the former from a bold futurist to an erratic and irresponsible individual. Musk's once universally admired public persona has become far more divisive, changing how many people perceive his leadership and judgment. Rudy Giuliani.
I'm the Republican mayor, but I'm really not. I'm the mayor of New York City.
During the aftermath of the September 11th attacks, Rudy Giuliani earned national respect for his leadership. Yet in the years that have followed, Giuliani's reputation as a strong, steady public figure has deteriorated sharply. His legal work, especially during the 2020 U.S. election challenges, drew intense scrutiny. Add in a dabble of controversial press conferences and unverified claims, the once America's mayor has become the subject of widespread criticism and satire. Giuliani's association with disputed legal efforts has overshadowed his earlier accomplishments, causing many who once admired him to reconsider their view of his career and conduct.
We're not going to steal this election. This election gets decided by the people.
Richard Fuld. Among one of Wall Street's most influential figures and a longtime CEO of Lehman Brothers, Richard Fuld effectively guided the company prior to the 2008 financial crisis, helping it grow substantially and earn major profits.
Lehman Brothers was a top underwriter of subprime lending, and their CEO, Richard Fuld, took home $485 million.
Unfortunately, that was all for the positives. The Lehman Brothers eventually collapsed after the financial crisis and became the largest bankruptcy in U.S. history. Fuld's reputation took a dramatic downturn when it was revealed that his excessive risk-taking, poor oversight, and resistance to regulatory warnings contributed to the firm's downfall. The firm's collapse also triggered global economic turmoil and widespread job loss. The public outrage was such that most forgot his past accomplishments, and Fuld became emblematic of unchecked corporate leadership.
Did we do everything right? We clearly did not.
Mark Zuckerberg.
And if this is the future that you want to see, then I hope that you will join us.
Facebook is a platform that revolutionized social media and reshaped communication worldwide. Its co-founder, Mark Zuckerberg, became a household name and the face of the company. Credited as a forward-thinking tech innovator, Zuckerberg was riding the high wave with Facebook's growing presence in the global social media market. But in the wake of multiple controversies, such as the Cambridge Analytica scandal, concerns grew about the platform's influence on mental health and civic discourse.
Have you changed your lifestyle? You don't look like you're buying really expensive clothes.
No, I'm not buying really expensive clothes.
Zuckerberg's once pristine reputation began to shift drastically. While he still commands significant industry influence, Facebook's perceived preference for profit over safety has caused many to reevaluate their support for the company and respect for Zuckerberg as a leader.
I believe deeply in what we're doing. And I know that when we address these challenges, we'll look back and view helping people connect and giving more people a voice as a positive force in the world.
Adam Neumann.
Even though WeWork is 50 square foot per person, a third of all WeWork spaces are actually open common spaces that give access to everybody.
WeWork was a company that sought to transform shared office spaces into a global lifestyle brand, and it nearly achieved this goal. Reaching a staggering $47 billion valuation, the company was poised to dominate the future of the workspace. At the top was Adam Neumann, the charismatic visionary driving the company. Everything was going well, but then Neumann's image unraveled after the company's attempted initial public offering revealed major financial losses, governance concerns, and unusual spending decisions. Reports highlighted questionable management practices, conflicts of interest, and a chaotic corporate culture. Investors rapidly lost confidence, leading to Neumann's removal as CEO. His dramatic fall became one of the most publicized examples of startup overvaluation and leadership excess.
It's almost stuff of legend right now how recklessly WeWork spent its money on things from a company that makes wave pools to a company that makes superfoods, led by a guy that Adam met while he was surfing.
Martin Winterkorn.
The supervisory board said, "We'd like to clearly state that Mr. Winterkorn was not aware of the manipulation of emissions and that we have the greatest respect for his willingness to send a very clear signal and take responsibility in this difficult situation for Volkswagen."
Volkswagen is one of the largest automakers in the world, but it has experienced its fair share of controversies. Top of the list is the emissions scandal, where the company was found to have installed software designed to cheat emissions tests. Martin Winterkorn would take the blame for this all happening under his surveillance. Recognized as a highly effective leader, Winterkorn helped strengthen Volkswagen's global presence. Under his leadership, the company expanded aggressively, but post-emissions scandal, Winterkorn found himself in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. The revelation sparked global investigations, major recalls, and billions in penalties.
He denied any involvement in decisions to install the so-called defeat devices that made harmful diesel emissions seem cleaner than they were. Winterkorn faces a fine or a custodial sentence if found guilty.
Winterkorn resigned shortly after, with the controversy overshadowing his accomplishments and dramatically reshaping public perception of the Volkswagen brand. Tony Hayward.
At first, BP's strategy was to say while it would pay for the cleanup, other companies were also responsible for the well. But the White House and lawmakers zeroed in, especially on Hayward, saying BP was not doing enough.
Tony Hayward became CEO of BP with a reputation as a competent reformer focused on improving safety and operational practices. Then in 2010, the Deepwater Horizon oil rig exploded, leading to one of the worst oil spills and environmental disasters in history. Hayward did not do a great job in managing the criticism that came his way. His comments during the crisis were considered insensitive and amplified negative scrutiny on BP. Despite efforts to manage the response, the scale of the disaster and his perceived mishandling led to overwhelming backlash. Hayward stepped down as CEO later that year. Hayward's legacy, once rooted in corporate experience and executive skill, is now closely tied to the catastrophic spill and its environmental impact.
We're sorry for the massive disruption it's caused to their lives. And, there's no one who wants this thing over more than I do. I'd like my life back.
Travis Kalanick.
You dropped the prices on black. Yes, you did. We started with $20. We started with $20. You know what? How much is the mile now? $2.75?
You know what?
What?
Some people don't like to take responsibility for their own shit. They blame everything in their life on somebody else.
But why you sending an email for town card?
Good luck.
Uber transformed ride-sharing into a global phenomenon. At its helm was co-founder and CEO Travis Kalanick. who guided the brand into becoming one of the fastest-growing tech companies of its time. However, his management style came under intense scrutiny as numerous reports emerged of internal misconduct, aggressive workplace culture, and disputes with regulators worldwide.
The surprise announcement comes 1 week after Kalanick said he would be taking a temporary leave of absence following the death of his mother, and in the wake of company-wide changes following Eric Holder's investigation into Uber's corporate culture.
Kalanick had created an environment that tolerated inappropriate behavior. The workplace culture prioritized rapid expansion over employee well-being. Things got worse when high-profile incidents and leaked internal communications worsened public perception, forcing Kalanick to step down. While his vision helped shape modern transportation, the controversy surrounding his leadership diminished Kalanick's stature in the modern tech world.
But the one thing you just cannot overcome is when you've lost the team, and I think it was clear that that Travis had lost the team, and recruiting here is hard. And if you have a culture that basically doesn't attract half of the population of talent, it's very, very hard to overcome.
John DeLorean. John DeLorean was a celebrated automotive engineer known for bold innovations at General Motors before founding his own company to produce the iconic DeLorean DMC-12 sports car. DeLorean's image initially began as that of a daring entrepreneur challenging industry norm, but that self-portrait came crumbling down when he became embroiled in a widely publicized substance trafficking case.
And DeLorean's subsequent meetings with the dealers were then videotaped by federal authorities.
DeLorean was eventually acquitted, but the damage was done. Financial troubles at his company and production setbacks further eroded confidence. Now remembered as a future of both brilliance and controversy, DeLorean's fall is a cautionary tale in both business and popular culture.
John DeLorean had realized his sports car dream. But there was just one problem.
It was terrible.
Raj Rajaratnam. At one point, the Galleon Group was among the world's most successful hedge funds. The group gained prominence under the effective management of its founder, Raj Rajaratnam. Highly regarded for his analytical skill and strategic insight, he built a reputation as a formidable figure in finance. Then came the conviction.
This man, Raj Rajaratnam, he is the guy at the top of the Galleon organization, the kingpin, allegedly, in this insider trading scheme. He's written a letter to investors saying that Galleon is winding down its funds.
Rajaratnam was found guilty in one of the largest insider trading cases in U.S. history. Investigations revealed a detailed network of illicit information exchanges designed to gain unfair market advantages. The arrest and subsequent conviction sent ripples through Wall Street and became a landmark moment in financial enforcement. Once seen as a sophisticated investor, Rajaratnam's legacy is now defined by the scandal that dismantled his empire.
It's kind of like taking a bite out of the forbidden fruit, except for here, he was feasting on the forbidden fruit.
Martin Shkreli.
Now, you guys have said that the reason you increased this price so much after acquiring the drug was in order to do the research and development to develop a better version of Daraprim. I just got off the phone with an HIV doctor who told me they don't need a better version of this drug. What are you doing here?
Yeah, that's not true. There's a recent paper that suggests that 2 patients died due to autoimmune encephalitis from toxoplasmosis.
When Martin Shkreli dramatically increased the price of a life-saving antiparasitic drug by more than 5,000% through his pharmaceutical company, he earned the moniker Pharma Bro. Shkreli's unapologetic public persona, confrontational interviews, and dismissive attitude toward criticism made him one of the most disliked business figures of the decade. The infamous price hike drew a major outlash, and Shkreli's downfall was not too far away. Unrelated securities fraud charges involving his hedge fund activities had him convicted and sentenced to prison. Now a symbol of corporate greed, Shkreli's conduct was not only viewed as a disservice to society, it effectively ended his standing in the field.
What do you say to that single pregnant woman who might have AIDS, no income, and she needs Daraprim in order to survive? What do you say to her when she has to make that choice? What do you say to her?
On the advice of counsel, I invoke my Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination and respectfully decline to answer your question.
Elizabeth Holmes.
I'm not the lab director, and so...
I know, but you're the CEO and founder of the company. I mean, this is as serious as it gets.
What I know is that I've put the best people in place to be able to investigate every aspect of this and ensure that we meet the quality standards that we hold ourselves to, and I know they're doing that.
Once hailed as the next Steve Jobs, Elizabeth Holmes built Theranos into a $9 billion startup on the promise of revolutionary blood testing technology that required only a single drop of blood. Holmes' charisma and ambitious disposition attracted powerful investors. She became the darling of Silicon Valley. Unfortunately, the technology that she proposed did not actually work. Accusations of misleading investors, flawed testing practices, and fabricated demonstrations culminated in criminal fraud charges. Holmes was convicted on multiple counts, and Theranos collapsed entirely. Today, Holmes isn't seen as a visionary, but a what-could-have-been tale of hype, trust, and accountability in the tech world.
Well, she is one of 655 inmates at this so-called Club Fed, about 100 miles outside of Houston, where she grew up. She'll have absolutely no privacy. She'll be wearing a khaki uniform. She will spend her first 90 days working in the kitchen, as we mentioned, making 12 to 40 cents an hour. After that, she will work as a groundskeeper or a janitor at the facility.
Sam Bankman-Fried.
A lot of people look at you and see Bernie Madoff.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's who I am at all, but I understand why they're saying that. People lost money, and people lost a lot of money. And I mean, at the end of the day, look, there's a question of what happened and why.
The world of cryptocurrency has its share of conflicting personalities. SBF, otherwise known as Sam Bankman-Fried, was once a rising star who rapidly accumulated billions as founder of FTX, one of the largest crypto exchanges. SBF positioned himself as a responsible leader in a chaotic industry. His cultivated philanthropic reputation imploded when it was revealed that customer funds were misused to cover FTX's losses. Bankruptcy filings uncovered massive financial mismanagement and a lack of basic oversight. Facing multiple criminal charges, SBF's fall from billionaire to embattled defendant once again had the crypto industry face renewed skepticism, and among the most stunning reversals in recent financial history.
What we know right now is that a sentence of 25 years has been handed down by the judge, including some years of supervisory release, 3 to be sure. And part of what the judge said amounted to that sentence was losses, he said, that totaled more than $11 billion.
Jeffrey Skilling.
You're the only financial institution that can't produce a balance sheet or a cash flow statement with their earnings.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Jeffrey Skilling was a central figure behind Enron's meteoric rise. Promoting aggressive financial strategies, Skilling modeled the company as a visionary force in the energy sector.
Jeff Skilling was the poster boy for all that was wrong with big corporations and corporate greed.
Brian Weiss is Channel 2's legal analyst and covered Skilling's trial.
Putting Jeff Skilling in the penitentiary for as long as we didn't bring back any of the funds that these people lost, and they were never really made whole.
He was successful in his effort, and under his leadership, Enron was celebrated as one of the most innovative corporations in the United States. Then Enron filed for bankruptcy. Investigations revealed widespread accounting manipulation that concealed massive losses. Thousands of jobs were erased, along with retirement accounts. Skilling was convicted on numerous charges related to fraud and insider trading. Initially viewed as a brilliant corporate strategist, Skilling instead became a symbol of executive misconduct.
Developing right now, the former CEO of Enron has just been released from federal custody. Jeff Skilling, now 65 years old, was released after spending 12 years in prison for his role in one of the most high-profile corporate and financial fraud cases in American history.
Bernie Ebbers.
Hi, David. As you well know, in his prime, Bernie Ebbers was known as the telecom cowboy, a former high school basketball coach who cobbled together a company that ultimately helped lay the foundation for the internet as we know it. But it was all built on a massive brazen fraud.
WorldCom transformed the telecommunications industry. This giant of the field, led by CEO Bernie Ebbers, rose to prominence through aggressive mergers and rapid expansion. Ebbers was praised for his business acumen and ability to drive growth in a competitive market. But that growth took a hit when WorldCom was caught engaging in one of the largest accounting frauds in U.S. history. The scandal led to the company's bankruptcy, billions in losses, and thousands of lost jobs. Convicted of fraud and conspiracy, the sentence Ebbers died at home on medical release while becoming synonymous with early 2000s corporate misconduct and a cautionary example of unchecked corporate ambition.
Misleading regulators as well as investors on the health of the company and overinflated a lot of the company's numbers and profits and that sort of thing. And he was caught.
Despite being only halfway through his sentence, Ebbers' family and their attorneys argued now at age 78, being in prison had taken major tolls on the man's health.
Harvey Weinstein.
To me, I'm still the underdog. I felt that way when I was young.
A name that remains a persistent presence in social media. Harvey Weinstein was among the most powerful producers in Hollywood. Responsible for award-winning films and shaping the careers of countless actors and directors, Weinstein had a considerable net of influence over the entertainment industry. His career and reputation collapsed after numerous allegations of sexual misconduct emerged. The revelations demolished Weinstein's reputation and also became a phenomenon in itself, catalyzing widespread cultural changes across the industry regarding workplace conduct and accountability. Once a symbol of Hollywood success, Weinstein became associated with abuse of power and systemic issues that continue to be debated and addressed to this day.
Former movie producer Harvey Weinstein has been sentenced to 16 years in prison in Los Angeles County.
Jerry Sandusky.
Sandusky was convicted last year of 45 criminal counts and is serving a 30 to 60-year prison sentence, all the while maintaining his innocence.
Penn State faced a flurry of controversies when respected defensive coach Jerry Sandusky was convicted on multiple charges. The charges? Abuse of minors in one of the most significant scandals in U.S. sports history. From a man who was known for helping build the program's championship reputation and founding a youth charity, Sandusky went from a beloved community figure to a villain. The scandal tanked his reputation while also triggering sweeping consequences for Penn State, reshaping how institutions handle internal accountability. Sandusky's professional success masked deeper problems, and his once pristine legacy lies tattered.
He is 68, and today he was sentenced to at least 30 years behind bars, the price for sexually abusing children. And today in the courtroom, he defiantly stood face to face with some of his victims, who were just 10 feet away.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Bernie Madoff. Deemed the pantomime evil boss of Wall Street, Bernie Madoff arrived with several years to count serving as NASDAQ chairman and managing a prominent investment firm.
Tonight, as much as $50 billion is gone, vanished.
From Madoff clients around the world, including celebrities like Steven Spielberg, Kevin Bacon, and Elie Wiesel.
It seemed Madoff was built for business, but behind his success was the largest Ponzi scheme in history. Defrauding thousands of clients, including charities and retirees, of billions, Madoff's operations were exposed during the 2008 financial crisis.
In 2009, he pleaded guilty to 11 criminal counts and received the maximum sentence, 150 years. In court, he insisted it was all his idea. His family, he claimed, knew nothing.
The scale of a sole individual's deception shocked the global financial community. Madoff pleaded guilty to multiple felonies and was sentenced to 150 years in prison. The Madoff name is now analogous with betrayal, financial ruin, and the devastating consequences of unchecked fraud.
And the remorse he claimed in every message is suspect as well. At his 2009 sentencing, Madoff turned to his victims. "I'm sorry," he said. "I know that doesn't help you." It didn't, and neither does Bernie Madoff's death.
Which of these downfalls shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments.